BBC One.
Live and direct from Atlanta, now on BBC One, Desmond Lynham with all the action through the night in Olympic Grandstand.
Good evening again from Atlanta. As you know, the Olympics these days has its beach volleyball, its synchro swimming and even mountain bike racing. These are modern inventions. But at the real heart of the Olympics you have track and you have field. The simple traditions of running and jumping and throwing have never been bettered as pure Olympian tests of athleticism. And tonight we will see the modern exponents of those arts. We're live for Linford Christie, the defending 100 metres champion. For Jonathan Edwards, the world champion and record holder in his event. And Tessa Sanderson, back at the Olympics 12 years after winning a gold medal. And we'll see the man who's expected to be the athlete par excellence on the track, Michael Johnson. We'll be at the swimming pool again to see if the remarkable Michelle Smith of Ireland can make it an incredible 4 gold medals. And much else over the next few hours. We may tire you out for tomorrow. This is the plan. Athletics all the way. Remember, Christie goes in the men's 100 metres second round, 11:35, and then it'll be swimming that first final involving Michelle Smith. That's the early part of the programme. We go on for hours and hours and hours. If you want to stay with us, we'd be delighted. Now, Sally's joined us. It's good to see you. You look very brown.
Being very brown. Well, I've been out here for about nearly 3 weeks now, training hard.
Yeah. And is it going good?
I can say it is, yeah. I mean, literally 3.5 weeks ago, it must have been sort of Lausanne time when I, pulled out of that race, and I thought, there's no way that I'm going to be out here. We had a lot of sort of like treatment and everything like that, and I can actually say the last 2.5 weeks I've done some really good training, some good times, and I'm quite excited about taking part.
What about the competition?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. We know the Americans are both in very good shape, and also Sandra as well, Farmer. She's had run a time early on, which was very good, and it's not going to be easy. Yeah. I feel a little bit as though the pressure's been taken off. It's I don't know. It's just a case of me going out there, getting through the rounds, knowing that I've done some good times in training. That's given me the confidence to really sort of just go out there and just see what happens. Really.
How does your condition compare with, say, not the last World Championships, obviously, but the previous ones?
I think, really, it's for me, it's not the best preparation going into any major championships. I'd love to have been going out there, winning all my races going into it, not having injuries and everything like that. I'm going to be going out there with, a slight injury to my heel. I've got to try and ignore it. I've got to, give myself confidence from doing the training that I've done, doing good touchdown times to the 8th hurdle, and just take each round at a time and just see what develops, really.
Are you enjoying being back at the Olympics?
I must admit I am. When I walked through into the village yesterday, I don't know what it was, but it just gave me that spur on, and it all brought back what happened 4 years ago, and I thought, I just want to get out there and I want to do well, that really sort of like edged
Special
me on.
buzz? Different from the World Championships?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, I think just missing last year at the Worlds, you know, that's made me more determined to want to come back and to run well this year. But yeah, I mean, this is the Olympics. It's totally different to any World Championships, and I've got very, very good memories. I know what it feels like to cross that line and to stand on that rostrum, and I want to do it again.
Sure do, yeah. You boys and girls have got to start doing things on the track for us. You know, Ecuador are beating us in the medals table
I know,
at the
it doesn't
moment.
sound good, but we will. We had a great team meeting yesterday, and everyone just felt as though we're going to really stick together and really encourage each other, and that's usually quite different to how we are. We usually go our separate ways. So, yeah, I think we're going to do well.
Well, some of the action's already started, and I know Diane Medal's been going, and I know Tessa Sanderson's been going, and I'd now like to know which of those we're about to see, because I heard some mumblings going on. We're going to see Diane Medal going in the 800 metres heat. Here we go.
Diane Modal, the Sail Harrier, representing Great Britain, reinstated in March of 1996 after all her troubles. A real opportunity, but it's a tough one. 5 women in this race under 2 minutes this season. Dorcil of France, Modal of Great Britain, Kisabaka of Germany, Mutola of Mozambique, perhaps the favourite, Afanasieva of Russia, Coelho of Portugal, and Orellana of Argentina. Well, a difficult task, Brendan Foster, for Diane Modal, and at the early stages she's really giving it a go.
She certainly is. She knows this is a big race for her. She's 5th fastest in this race, and there are only 2 to go through automatically to the next round, and Diane knows that if she helps the pace, makes a fast run, then at least she'll have an extra chance of qualifying on one of the fastest times. But she knows she's got a big race today, because included in this race and queuing up right behind her is Maria Mutola, who's probably the favourite for the 800 metres, and I'm very impressed with the way Diane's taking this race on. She's doing absolutely the right thing. She's towing them along in a good enough time, and she's going to give herself an opportunity to run under 2 minutes, which would give her that extra chance.
Modal leads, Afanasieva in 2nd place, Kisabaka on the outside in 3rd place. Tucked in on the inside is Vivienne Dorcil, the French woman. Behind them is Mutola lurking. Behind Mutola is Coelho, and then Orellana of Argentina. 400 metres to go. Not particularly quick, 58.23. It's going to be all down to the sprinters at the end, and Mutola just lurking there. Remember, disqualified in the World Championships last year when she was the favourite. And Modal now, they're all sitting there waiting. Kisabaka looks good, the German, and she's going to make the break down the back straight. Kisabaka goes past, so does Afanasieva, and Mutola running very wide, content just to settle in. Modal hanging on. She's in 2nd place at the moment. It's the first 2 plus the 6 fastest losers through to the semi-final. She's in 3rd place. Mutola going to come through on in a moment. Dorcil some 4 or 5 metres off Modal at the moment, but there's a real pained look on Modal's face now. Kisabaka leads, Afanasieva in 2nd place. Mutola coming wide on the outside. It's a good, solid piece of running this, and this is the powerhouse of Mutola. Mutola breaks for the tape, takes Afanasieva. Modal has stopped and walked off the track. Mutola, Afanasieva, Kisabaka and Dorcil in that order, 1:59. And Modal stepped off the track, Brendan, with about 50, 60 metres to go.
Well, that was a big, big surprise, because she was in a good position in 4th place. She was being overtaken, and I just wonder if all the pressure of what's been happening to her in the last couple of weeks has got to her. She put herself in the right place. She ran well for the first 600 metres, and then the strength of Afanasieva and Mutola was beginning to tell her. And there Diane Modal in 4th place, and she's got a chance of qualifying as one of the fastest times, but she began to limp a little just before she pulled up, and I think she's suffering from some kind of injury.
You may be right, Brendan. She certainly grimaced as she stopped in the straight, but this is not the sort of return that she would want, most definitely, and Diane Modal is out of these Olympic Games.
Well, that's a blow, and a special blow for her, isn't it? She'd been looking so much forward to it, especially after the wretched year she's had.
Well, I mean, she earned her place here, and she had a good chance of getting into the final. Obviously, she had a tough heat there. I'd say she'd had some injury problem or something there. She didn't seem happy, you know, on that last home straight, but it's good to see her back. She's obviously going to be very, very disappointed with that, but she's got to keep going at it.
Yeah. Kelly Holmes, I mean, she's been having a tough time with injury too, hasn't she?
Yeah, I think it just shows, you know, the fine line that we all stand on, you know, to go out there to try and win those medals. You know, you're pushing yourself all the time in training and trying to get those times down. I think that's what happened to Kelly. You know, she did a lot of racing and she really wanted to go for those gold medals. But, you know, she's here and she's going to
We're about to see what she's going to do, because we're going to go live for her heat now with David Coleman.
Thanks, Des. And Kelly Holmes is drawn right on the outside. Had a bit of shin trouble this week. Hasn't been able to train properly, but hoping for the best now. First time she's under spikes on for a couple of days. Drawn in lane number 8. The full lineup will be NG of Gambia in lane 1. Farmanova of Czechoslovakia in 2. Susie Hamilton, United States in 3. Juleka, Ethiopia in 4. Turner, the Commonwealth champion from Jamaica in 5. In 6, no one. In 7, Jarte of France. And in lane 8, Kelly Holmes, Great Britain. This is a very, very difficult draw. Some very high-class athletes in this one. And only 2 go through as of right. 800 metres, 2 laps of the track. And Kelly Holmes has been caught almost immediately by Jarte, who's gone off very quickly. Also, Farmanova of Czechoslovakia has gone quickly. Brendan.
Well, this is a very difficult one for Kelly Holmes, particularly since she hasn't been able to run properly for the last 10 days. She had what was recognised as a stress fracture in her ankle, and she was told to keep off her feet and not go on the track. She hasn't been able to do that. She jogged the other day and ran, and now the big test is today. She's going to run this race, and then after the race she fully expects her ankle to be really, really sore, and the real question is how many days can she go on producing that sort of reaction, producing that sort of form, and also running well with the pain. But she says, I'm prepared to put the pain out of my mind, but I won't really know till I get out there and get in the competitive arena.
First 2 go through, plus the 6 fastest losers from the heats. 59.11, one of the slower ones, this one. Jarte leads, Kelly Holmes in 2nd place, Farmanova 3rd, Hamilton 4, Ines Turner, the Jamaican, the Commonwealth champion, in 5th. And the battle's really on now, down that back straight. Kelly Holmes holding a position, running a little bit wide to make any overtaking athlete go even wider. Jarte with 200 left, the French athlete who's the French record holder. Holmes in 2nd place, Farmanova 3rd, Hamilton beginning to struggle. Just 2 go through. And Holmes has run a good one here. Hope there's no reaction afterwards. She's kept herself well wide and well clear of trouble. Farmanova's now in with a problem, but Holmes wins it. Jarte 2nd, certain to qualify. Farmanova 3rd, Hamilton 4, Turner 5, and the world junior cross-country champion Juleka of Ethiopia in 6th place, 158.82.
Well, that was the way to show them. That was an impressive run by Kelly Holmes, but she said now she's going to have to tread very, very carefully. She's probably going to be in pain after this race, but there the class tells. And really, the fact of the matter is, she hasn't been running for such a long time, for 10 days, and at this stage, that's a very delicate position to be in. But there, Kelly Holmes says, I'm going to use these races, I'm going to demonstrate that I'm back to my best. And really, it's a question now of recovering overnight and being able to be in a position to do the same again tomorrow in the semi-final.
She's tremendously fit. But, well, she's wearing spikes for the first time for 2 or 3 days, and she won't really know until tomorrow morning when she wakes up what the damage is about, just how serious it is. Incidentally, news of Diane Medal. It was a hamstring problem that caused her to pull out with 50 metres to go. But Holmes safely through, so too Jarte. Farmanova and Hamilton must wait and see. Well, now, here's Kelly with Paul Dickinson.
Kelly, congratulations. Always tough in qualifying, and they were tough qualifying conditions, weren't they?
Yeah, they were very. There's a lot of good people out there, and to get in the first 2, you need to make your mark really in the heats to help you for the semi-finals. And any one of those runners could have got in the first 2, so you need to be sure that you're going to be through. There's a bit of weight of your mind waiting for see if you're fastest loser. So I'm quite pleased with that performance. It went quite well.
Well, you haven't even caught your breath yet. It's a bit unfair to talk to you, but any reaction at all to the leg?
It's obviously sore. It's going to be sore, but the physios have been absolutely excellent. Going to get some treatment now, and but I'm still confident and I'm enjoying myself.
Good, well done, and thanks for talking to us.
Thanks so much.
Well, let's hope. One of our big medal hopes in both the 800 metres and the 1500. There's no reaction. Checking the result, good fast time in qualifying, 1:58.80. Giarte in second place, 1:58.98. The others, well, 6 fastest losers go through from the heats. They'll have to just sweat it out. The Commonwealth champion, Turner of Jamaica, in real trouble, back in 5th place. And now the placings in the Diane Modal race. Mitola, one of the favourites, won it. Afanasieva in second place, those two certain to qualify. And Diane Modal did not finish. Brendan.
Well, I've managed to get a word with Diane after her race, and she said she'd been carrying a hamstring injury, and as soon as she put the pressure on in the last 200 metres, it really began to pull, and she really had no opportunity, no choice but to step off the track. She's very, very disappointed, because all her hopes were based on these Olympic Games. She felt as though she was beginning to start and run well. Her time trials had gone pretty well, but now, sadly, the year which started off without her having an opportunity to run the Olympic Games ends, sadly, with Diane Modal having to step off the track through an injury which was caused a few days ago when she ran in Tallahassee. Very, very disappointing for Diane.
Well, let's catch up now with Tessa Sanderson. Her third throw, remember 3 throws in qualification. She has a best of 58 metres and 86. That was her first round throw, 56.80 a second. It didn't get quite behind that. And it's well short of that 62.5 metre requirement. Now, she's in 7th place at the moment with 58 metres and 86. And this, remember, is in Pool A, in Group A. And there'll be another group to come. And 7th place in this group may signal her demise. We don't know yet until we see what the overall standard in the other group is. But a 60-metre throw would have been the business. And that little shake of the head, I think, says it. 56 metres and 64 centimetres, not as good, and it was her first throw at 58.86 that took her into 7th place, and I think it may be difficult for her to qualify for the final. Well, look at the stadium here, absolutely packed, 80,000 or more, and actually when I think back to 8 o'clock this morning, it was equally packed for the 20-kilometre walk. These people have come along with their tickets to enjoy this Olympic festival. It's an unusual stadium, built as a baseball stadium, and after the Olympic Games the track will be removed and the baseball facility installed. But in the meantime, this crowd enjoying a first day of athletics of the very highest quality. We've seen some fine performances, we've seen 1 or 2 disappointments, of course, and Diane Modal's disappointment the most recent of those. But Kelly Holmes is holding out, as you've just seen and heard. And Britain, well, it's always going to be tough in these championships, always. 197 nations competing. Remember, they've many more nations than in the previous Olympics. They're growing Olympics by Olympics. The flame looking out over this stadium. A lull at the moment, but this venue here is one of the biggest that we've had. And the high jump beds, the pole vault areas, all of the highest quality as one would expect, and actually they've been imported from Scandinavia. The Finns and the Swedes have all been involved in providing equipment for these championships, and when we come to the jumps we shall see the first automated raking machine, and well, that'll be something to see, to give a consistency of sand. Well, we can now join Tessa Sanderson talking to Paul Dickinson.
Tessa, tell us what happened.
Actually, I mean, I went in, I was trying as hard as I could, and the conditions are not bad, actually. It's just that, you know, the throw doesn't happen. But, I mean, I did 58 something, and, you know, the qualifying was 6:2. I thought that I could have got the qualifying, but I just didn't. I don't think I was fast enough off the end. But I've just got to wait and see, that's all. It's not easy out there, but I've just got to hang in there and wait and see. I mean, I think I ended up something like 7th on there. If 5 more people throw over 6:2, then I won't go through, which I'll be really unhappy about, you know, but there's really nothing I can do about it. I'm very disappointed, but I'll have to wait and see.
Well, I think you're just as disappointed as if this was your first Olympics, aren't you?
Absolutely gutted. I mean, I really was looking forward to the final, and if you get to the final, hopefully, you know, push for a medal, but that's what the qualifying's all about. But I'll sit back now, see how everybody else get on,
and then hope I get in. But if I don't, well, it's just another games, unfortunately.
Are there any favourites as far as you're concerned for this title?
Hadishtat threw very well, and the conditions are quite humid and still in. It's not brilliant for javelin throwing, and she's quite powerful and strong, and she's throwing very well. A few of the girls who I really thought would have got through as well didn't make it through. So we've just got to wait and see. I am really disappointed, but I'm here at the games, and really I'm enjoying the games. But I keep my fingers crossed that I'll be in the final. But if I'm not, there's nothing I can do about it.
Now, you and Brian Roberts, your coach, had a plan, didn't you, coming into these games? He's watching you on television now. Have you got a message for him?
I'm just hoping, Brian, that we do. I do get through. But thanks for everything you've done. And I think he knows really probably what have happened there on the end. I just tried to come through as fast in the end, hit the javelin hard, and I wasn't really. I was hitting it as hard as possible, but my legs just wasn't coming through as fast enough. So, he knows what the game is when it comes to throwing, and I was hoping I would have got 62 metres, but I didn't. So.
It's a little too early to reflect, but it's been not a bad 20 years, Tessa.
It's been a fantastic 20 years. I've thoroughly enjoyed my career. I wished I could have gone out with a bang here, but I can't do it. Look, the fat lady hasn't sung yet, so I'm waiting, and I hope she's singing for me. But if she isn't, it's just one of those things. I'm so sorry. Children in hospital, I hope we still make our money, the 1 million that we're trying to raise.
Well, we hope she's singing your tune tonight, Tessa.
Thanks, Paul.
Good watching you.
Can you believe she's in her 6th Olympic Games?
Well, she spoke yesterday at the team meeting, and there's just so much encouragement, and just what she passed on to us through doing 6 Olympics. It's just amazing.
You won't be around for 6, Sal, will you?
I don't think so. 3, that's my limit.
In '88, you went in the 100 hurdles as well as the 400, didn't you?
Yeah, I did the 400 hurdles first, got 5th, and then went on and did the 100 hurdles.
Yeah. Now, give us a clue about the next few days for us, how it works out, what days you compete and what rest you get.
I've got tomorrow, which is a rest day, and then literally start my heats on Sunday morning at 11:30.
Be nervous out there?
Always for the first one, yeah. Oh, it's good to get the first one out of the way, and you get the whole procedure, you know what it's all about. And then I got the semi-finals at 9:30 the following day, so it's a good rest there. And then I've got a rest day, as I've got to sit around for another day, and then hopefully the final on Wednesday.
Sleep well the night before the first one?
No, I didn't sleep well last night, the night before. So then I got a birthday on Monday as well, so that's going to be on hold.
Your birthday?
Yeah,
Is
I'll be
it?
30 on Monday.
Wow,
so
many happy returns for that.
Hold. Thank you.
But some athletes actually get almost physically ill before you don't get anything like that, do you?
Not physically ill. I mean, you can feel your stomach sort of really churning, and that's when it's important. You've just got to calm yourself down. You've got to keep convincing yourself, stay in control. It's very, very easy to go over the top and lose it. Very
Your husband's
easy.
here with you, and he helps in that direction.
Yep. He'll be on the end of the phone. I don't usually see him until sort of after I finish racing now. So I'll say goodbye today, and then I'll talk to him on the phone. He's always very encouraging, always calms me down.
There we are. Thanks for popping in, and we wish you the best of luck. We'll all be rooting for you as ever.
Thank you.
Glad to see you back in competition after having to miss last year, the big one.
Well, hopefully I'll be coming back in here with a gold medal on Wednesday.
Well, you usually do.
I did last time, didn't I?
We wish you the best, Sally. Thank you very much indeed. Well, we've got track and field all the way for the next, hour and a half or so. We've got swimming finals after that, of course. But it's a big day tomorrow for our rowers, Steve Redgrave and Matthew Pinsent. They're the defending champions in their rowing event, of course. And tomorrow, 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, in fact, British time, we're hoping they will make a little Olympic history.
There's always the pain barrier, and it depends on your fitness and your state of health. If you're on top form, that'll feel relatively easy. You'll be tired at the end of it, and your legs will be hurting and your lungs will be screaming, but you've paced it well and you feel that you've achieved something. If you're not 100% or not quite up to fitness, then you won't last, and that hurts even more.
Victory in Atlanta would make Stephen Redgrave one of the all-time great Olympians in any discipline, a champion at 4 successive games. He'll start as favourite. In the past 4 seasons, his coxless partnership with Matthew Pinsent has been virtually unbeatable.
The ball is very much in our court. If we want to win Olympic gold medal, it's almost up to us. What the opposition do, we can make irrelevant. They can have the best row of their lives, and if we row well, it doesn't make any difference.
At the moment, we've come out of the World Championships as favourites to win the Olympics, and if we row as well as we can do, I can't see anybody beating us.
Redgrave's Olympic crusade began in a Cox 4 on Lake Gazetas, 60 miles north of Los Angeles, 12 years ago in 1984.
They've now got 20 metres to go, and Britain are going to win the gold. Britain first, the United States second. They cross the line now, and there is gold for Great Britain.
Stephen Redgrave was 22. His physique might have taken him into a number of sports. Rowing claimed him by the accident that he grew up by the Thames and the inspirational enthusiasm of one of his schoolmasters.
His first race was at the Avon County Schools Regatta, which was held near Bristol. And this race set off, and something went wrong with Stephen's seat. It came off the slide, or Stephen did. And the crew stopped. The opposition started to disappear in the distance. But Stephen sorted this out, said a few rather quick words to the rest of his crew, I think. And they set off and won the race and the event.
Trophies accumulated rapidly. Redgrave's raw talent was soon recognised. The problem was harnessing his single-mindedness within the international squad.
Noel had won an Olympic gold medal going back to 48, and so I couldn't see the reasons of following the same old path year in, year out, getting the same poor results, and something had to change.
Even though you were obviously running the risk of being shut out altogether.
Oh yeah. I was kicked out of the group. I was told that I wouldn't go to the Olympics. If I didn't do as I was told, I wouldn't go to the Olympics. I said fair enough, and walked out. And if it wasn't down for Mike Spracklin, I would have never gone to the 84 Olympics.
The winning 4 on Lake Gazetas later produced a winning pair. Andy Holmes became Redgrave's partner in a combination also coached by Mike Spracklin. Together, they doubled the stakes. They wanted gold in both coxed and coxless pairs. A heat, a semi-final, a final in each category. That meant 6 races in 7 days, against the world's best. At the 87 World Championship, they took gold and silver. At the Olympics in Seoul a year later, gold and bronze. But the partnership broke up. Tideway gossip suggested that despite the achievements, the two men were incompatible.
There was always a lot of publicity that Andy and I didn't get on, which I strongly disagree. That I think we got on very, very well with the task that we tried to set ourselves.
It was after the 1988 Olympics that a hesitant Matthew Pinsent took the seat alongside Redgrave.
It looked to me from the outside like a poison chalice. Here was this guy who'd won, a tremendous amount, and I'd won nothing. I mean, I was 19, I'd won absolutely nothing. And surely the argument in my head was going, if we went well, it was always going to be Redgrave who was making the thing go well. If we went badly, then it was going to be the end of my career before I'd really started it.
Nevertheless, this was another of the sport's outstanding oarsmen. Pinsent took the challenge. In their first World Championship, they finished 3rd. 12 months on, in Vienna, another world final.
I think you'll find that Redgrave and Pinsent have judged it to perfection. They're going to take the gold, and that'll be consolation for Pinsent for his bronze medal last year.
Having discovered the winning formula, Redgrave and Pinsent had a new coach, Jürgen Gröbler, formerly of the German Democratic Republic. The next target was the Barcelona Olympics. All was going well until Redgrave returned ill from a training camp in South Africa. He was diagnosed as colitis.
It got to the stage where Jürgen, our coach, spoke to Matthew and said that we'll give him another couple of weeks. And this was 10 weeks to go before the Olympic Games. And then we'll have to look to try and do something else.
The instinct and experience of coach Gröbler said wait, so they waited. Redgrave came out of hospital, the boat began to go well. What they didn't know was whether they were back on gold standard.
Are you ready? Go!
Victory in their heat suggested they were ready. The semi-final confirmed it. The final held no fear.
We always feel that we're strong enough, stronger than anybody else in the second half. And if we're leading at 1,000 at the pace that we want to go at, then nobody's going to come past us.
Redgrave and Pinsent, Olympic champions beyond all question. Matthew Pinsent gets his first Olympic title, and there is history made again.
Winning has become a habit. In 1993 they were world champions in Prague. In 94 they retained the title. 95 ditto. The awards keep mounting.
Steve, Matthew not here. No. Can you take Matthew?
Yeah. 1996, back to Olympic business. Round the year, round the world preparation would drive some round the bend. December, altitude conditioning in Bulgaria. January, back on the water in Australia. Heat and tranquility. March to Seville and a change. Redgrave returned to the stroke seat, Pinsent in the bow. It was Gröbel who switched them round. It was an attempt to gain more speed. But it was as you were a month later, during final preparations in France and Canada. And so to Atlanta. Redgrave the perfect choice to lead the British team in for the opening ceremony, a duty he'd performed in Barcelona 4 years ago. But the smile soon evaporated when Redgrave and Pinsent experienced the transport system to and from their competition venue at Lake Lanier. They described it as shambolic and left the athletes' village in disgust. Out on the water, they won their first round heat comfortably. It was the same story in the semi-final. They rode within themselves and did what was necessary.
And today was a little bit better. We've still got to think about a couple of things tomorrow and hope so that it goes all smoothly on Saturday.
On the threshold of your biggest ever race, what do you feel?
It's the last one, it's got to be good, isn't it?
If it's good enough, Stephen Redgrave rewrites Olympic history. Desire and determination run through his veins. Winning is what Redgrave is all about. He's been at the top of a tough, intense sport for 12 years. Nobody knows the qualities that have kept him there, better than the man who'll be his equal partner in the bid for ultimate glory.
Competitiveness, determination, bloody-mindedness, his natural ability, his natural gifts, his size, his strength, his aggression, and I think maybe a fear about things. There's a fear in him now that says, what am I going to do when all this is over? Better make the most of it now.
You have to stop at some stage, and I think it will be Atlanta.
In 2000, there's going to be another Olympic Games.
There will be Olympic Games after I'm dead and buried as well. And if someone wants to dig up the box and put some riggers on it, I might be rowing in that as well, but I doubt it. You've got to stop at some stage.
Race stops with that. They're great guys, and that final is 3 o'clock British time tomorrow afternoon. Don't miss it. Now, it's track and field all the way for the next couple of hours. And here's the timetable. If you're looking out for Linford Christie, you'll see the second round of the 100 metres for men there, about 11:35 British time. Well, of course, he went earlier today in the first round of the 100, and this is what happened.
This time they go. Christie got away well. Also going well alongside him was Pulu, but it's Christie now powering his way through. Disaminis is there and Jose on the inside. Christie wins it. Jose on the inside in second place. And Da Silva of Brazil came through late to take third place. The time, 10.26. Very, very slight following wind. 0.1.
Daley and Dave are with us. Well, he had no trouble there this morning, obviously, but he could have trouble this evening, couldn't he? Because he's got quite a tough second round heat there.
Yeah, he has. I mean, obviously, he's got to come in the first three.
Yeah.
And there's 3 or 4 good guys in the race, and he's got obviously
like Donovan Bailey,
yeah.
yeah. Who else?
Hadanaikin and John Drummond from the USA. I mean, Drummond looked very good in his heat this morning, and Linford ran 10.26 in the first round, but I reckon he's going to have to be closer to 10 seconds just to get in the first three.
Because just to get in the semi-final.
Yeah, because like now, this morning was the warm-up. Now you've really got to start doing the business. And like you say, only the first three, and there's 4 not bad guys in there. You've got to make sure that you're through.
What was your general feeling about how he looked this morning?
I think he looked easy enough, and I mean, and he should. I mean, he's Olympic champion, he's been world champion, all that kind of stuff. And his first round heat of the Olympic Games, if you're not looking good, then you know, you're in a bit of trouble. But everybody who was good has gotten through, so nobody's injured or anything else. And so now it's more than a game. It's the real thing now.
We discussed this much earlier this evening, but again, just remind us who you think is the real favourite, or perhaps 2 favourites for this, Dave.
The fastest in the world is Frankie Fredericks. I think probably he would be favourite. Atto Bolden from Trinidad is a young lad who's come through in the last few years. He's looking great. Obviously Donovan Bailey, who's the world champion, who's running with Linford tonight. All the Americans. I mean, I think probably this year there's probably been more people run under 10 seconds than for many years. So there's a great depth of strength in the world, and it appears that this track is very fast. So no, it could be that they're going to have to run close to the world record to get a medal. And you know, I think tonight Linford's going to have to run very, very quickly just to make it through to the semi. I think he will, but I think this will be probably one of his hardest races this year.
Does that bit of awe still surround him that used to, where the others looked and thought, oh, it's him, you know?
I think it's been melting a little this year, because he, from my point of view, I don't know about his, but from my point of view, he hasn't had a great build-up. He hasn't won a lot of races. And I mean, just only the other week he was beaten at Crystal Palace by Michael Green, who is nobody really. He's a journeyman, and I don't think that could have helped him. But he is great at his preparation, and the most important race for him is going to be tomorrow, and obviously he has to get there.
Well, now there's still a great deal of awe obviously surrounding a man called Michael Johnson, who did that incredible double of 400 and 200 metres at the World Championship last year. Never been done in the Olympics as far as a man is concerned. Could he possibly do it here? We're going to see.
Richardson's gone off quickly on the outside, and Johnson already going away from Barder. Horton making no impression. Black being pressed by Darnell Hall from lane 1 to lane 2, and Johnson looks majestic. The world record holder outside him has got to stay with him to 300 metres if he's got a chance. Johnson leading. Horton, the Jamaican, going well. So is Sunday Barder of Nigeria at this stage as they come in to around the 300-metre mark. And Johnson, he leads into the straight, and the number 1 is leading by a big margin. Butch Reynolds in second place at the moment, and Horton of Jamaica coming through into bronze medal position. And Johnson storming through. He's going to be the world champion again. Reynolds second. Horton takes the bronze, 43.39. It's just 1/10 outside the world record. It's the second fastest time of all time. It's a new championship record. And Michael Johnson promised it all and delivered.
This time he gets them away. And Michael Johnson, not so well away. Jeff Williams is going really well. But now in lane 3, it's Frankie Fredericks, and Michael Johnson is beginning to motor. Alongside him to Silva. Fredericks, the champion, is trailing. And it's Michael Johnson. And coming through is Jeff Williams. Johnson wins. Fredericks in second place. Williams third. And the time, 19.79. The fastest time in the world this year by some distance. And Johnson has done the double.
And of course he's going for it again here at the Olympics. He's in the 400 tonight, and we'll see him in action around about midnight British time. Daley, how tough, how difficult really, he's proved he can do it, but how tough is it to do that particular double?
Well, it's going to be tougher than anywhere else, because the programme says that you have to have at least one more 400 here than he did in the World Championships. And also
another round.
An extra round. Yeah. And he also has 1 day's less rest. So it's going to be a lot tougher than anything he's done before. Even at the American Championships, they spread it out a bit so that he had a bit more rest. Yeah. I think that he's head and shoulders easily above everybody in the 400, so I don't think he's going to have much problem there. But Frankie Fredericks, who came second in the World Championships there, to him, I think is going to be able to...
He beat him once this year, didn't he?
Yeah,
this summer.
Yeah. And also Mike Marsh has run him in a race to a couple of hundredths in the 200 this year, so it's not going to be quite as easy as everybody would have thought looking at last year's results.
And he's got that extraordinary style, Dave, hasn't he? That straight back style.
It's a strange style. It's a bit like Jesse Owens, and he obviously is compared to Jesse Owens over here, but it's very, very effective. And I mean, he's a super controlled runner, and he makes 400 metre running look so easy. And it's a joy to watch. But no, really everything is shaping up to the 200 maybe being one of the most spectacular races of the Games.